All right, what's up, everyone? It's Balliet Brand. It's been a minute since we've done a stream, but we're back from Vegas. And I know I didn't get to stream on Thursday, the nights of the crypto table, or Sunday because I didn't have my equipment. But we're back. I hope everyone is doing well. And we got some cool information to cover, like always, right? Richard has done a handful of streams while we were in Vegas, and recently, his most recent stream was like 20-something minutes long, and pretty much what he was saying is that the Pulsechain code is pretty much all complete for the sacrifice phase, and Richard had mentioned that it's just a couple of website edits away before everything is live. And so we're going to go over to his Twitter, and we're going to look at some of the front end photos that he has posted, and it looks really smooth. So I want to also address the chat and stuff like that, because since I missed the past couple of streams and we're back onto the consistent schedule, want to address anyone's questions. I know there was someone in the Pulsechain chat that had a couple of questions about what am I going to do when it comes to the sacrifice phase. We know Richard has talked about there being a bonding curve. So like the first 3 days would probably have the same amount of value if you sacrifice within those 3 days, somewhat for the most part. But then the actual bonding curve is going to kick in, and it's going to kind of ramp up from there. So without further ado, let me just say what's up to the chat. We'll run the intro, and maybe in a few minutes, or we might skip it. Who knows? But let me get over to the chat real quick here. Okay. All right. So yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. A Russian name I can't pronounce, but hey, hope you're doing good. Donkey Simply, thanks for the updates. Yeah, Richard, he's obviously been hard at work. One thing that Richard has talked about is when he's not tweeting, you shouldn't be mad about that. But when he's not tweeting, he's working, right? And that's something that I really appreciate about Richard, because he didn't have to do this in the first place. And then when he decided to, fix some of the problems that Hexicans were having, he realized, now I can solve some of these problems for everyone else. So let's say what's up to everyone. Identity Block, hey bro, how you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. Sandy B, what up, Balliet? This person's name is always hilarious. Asholer, Shelterin, yep, nice. Let's see, Piston Broke. Hey, Bran and fellow Hexicans. Hector the Protector. Hey, what's up, Bran? Hey, bro. BMA, hey, it was cool to meet you in Vegas. There were so many people that I met in Vegas, right? And even though I had stayed for all of the days, it felt like it still wasn't enough time. There's just so many Hexicans that were there, and so many people that I've seen their usernames, stuff like that. And it was really cool to meet everyone. I didn't get to take as many photos as I'd like, but I, really enjoyed the time that I did have. And then also, since it was my first time in Vegas, it was kind of like trying to survive the weather and stuff like that. But yeah, BMA, it's good to meet you. Awesome to talk to you for a handful of minutes and whatnot. Wrenchy T, hey. Let's see. Yeah, Toby was another Hexican that I hung out with, and we had a pretty good time, actually. Him, myself, and Super Hex Win. That guy is a cool guy, Super Hex Win. But we had dinner, let's see. I know at least once, and then we hung out a couple of times. But yeah, Toby, myself, and Super Hex got some dinner, and then walked over to the Fremont Street, and that was really cool, right? The Fremont Street, for anyone that doesn't know, there's like a big LED screen up at the top of the roof, I guess, and just a whole bunch of cool projections and kind of, trippy stuff. So that was really cool. Toby says, sup, Brand, driving back from vacation. Can you do a 5.5-hour stream so we can watch you the whole time? Hey, that's a tall order. I'm just kidding. We'll see. I definitely plan to stream for as long as it takes, maybe a couple hours, something like that. Let's see, Wrenchy T. Okay, Crypto CPT. Hello, BB and Hex fam. All right, Crypto Panda. Oh yeah, so this guy's legit, man. I just started talking to him recently and just found out about him recently because you'll see a post on Twitter, and then this guy Morgan, he makes hex wraps and stuff like that. And actually, the one that he made was a Pulsechain wrap, but either way, he does great work. Sup, dude, attending my first live stream. Hey, cool, man. Welcome. And yeah, him and myself, we're also going to we're gonna set up an interview because we've already talked about it. But I've always had a super big fascination with artists, and especially with music artists. And for someone like himself that had the lyrical flow and just the production quality and things like this, the couple-minute video was like, man, this is really vibing, So that was really awesome to see. And yeah, stay. What am I trying to say? Stay in tune for that, right? Because we're gonna schedule a date and time now that I'm back from Vegas and consistently streaming, and we'll go over his story and hear about how he got into Hex and stuff like that. Because the one thing that I do know is there's just a overabundance of Hexicans, and like I mentioned earlier, to the point where it's like, man, I don't have them all added on Twitter anymore and stuff like this, and just it's growing at such an exponential rate, and I think that's absolutely awesome. So yeah, there's a handful of Hex songs and raps that came out during the Vegas trip, so that was awesome. Diraj with the golden mic. Let's see. Come on, I want to hear the juicy stories about Vegas. There's a couple I can't tell, but yeah, they're pretty juicy. We'll cover some of the Vegas stuff. Hector says, catch you guys out next year. Couldn't make the next trip. Couldn't make the trip this time around. No worries. All right. Well, yeah, without further ado, let me just do the intro real quick, and then I'll just post this on the Facebook link too real quick. So give me just a second. Let me play the Nagabo intro.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, be sure to share, be sure to comment. Yeah. Say hey. Say hey. Say hey. Say hey. Say hey. Motherfucking jackpot. We still jackpot, bitch!
Thank you, Richard, for creating and founding the most amazing and disruptive financial technology cryptocurrency ever. Thank you, sir. And nice streams, Mr. Balliot Brand.
Okay, perfect. So got the little intro there and got it on the Facebook group and the Hex group as well. So there's a let's see, what is it? HexMac. He created a Facebook group for Hex and Pulsechain. So let me get closer to the mic. So I just shared it there as well, because sometimes I'll forget to share it on all the platforms. All right, let's see. Okay, cool. Yeah, so yeah, Morgan, he like I asked him, like, hey, dude, how long you been in music? And so I guess he's been part of the process for a little while, and we'll obviously hear more about his story. But he says, I'm working on a Pulsechain emo song today. Hee. Hey, that's awesome. The really cool thing about Hexicans is not only are we so unique, diverse, and share something in common, which is Sci-Vibe, Pulsechain, Hex, and stuff like that. but the actual talent of the Hexicans is like none other. I've literally never seen a stronger group of people, a more fired up group of people, and just the energy is absolutely insane. And so it's really cool to see that when a group of people get together and kind of rally behind something, it's amazing to see what can be accomplished. Because like I mentioned, Morgan did a song, and then there's this other guy, I think it's like Black Hexican or something like that. We can find his song a little bit later too, but he made a pretty cool hex rap, and tell you what, man, all of it slaps. And even someone like Joker, I guess he's going to be working on making like a hex album, or like hex / Pulsechain album, which I think is really cool. So shout out to all the Hexicans. There's just so many talented people, like I mentioned. Rated Hex, how we doing? Let's see, Rick Schmitz. Let's see. Yeah, Rick, it's definitely will be there for the next meetup. It was awesome, so I got to meet a lot of people, right? Like I said, didn't get to meet everyone or spend, all the time with everyone that I'd like to. I got to, like I said, what's up to Wales for like 2 seconds. I was just so busy kind of, talking to other people at the venues and whatnot. But that's a guy that I'd like to spend some more time with next time. A really genuine dude. And like I said, one thing that Wales talks about is that the Hex Vegas meetup, for him, he said, confirmed everything that he had already thought. And I feel the same way, because the first Hexican I ever hung out with was RG3. And so got to see him again too, which was cool. But so the first meetup with the Hexican RG3 was great. And then the mass meetup was like, man, this is, like I said, just so powerful and so energetic. And, the really cool thing about about Hex is the logo itself, right? One second, let me get some water. Okay, cool, we're back. So the cool thing about the logo and the t-shirts that we were wearing, I've got it in my backpack. I still need to wash it. But the back of it had like a scan me, like a QR code. And then I think it just went to the Hexican.Vegas. But I was talking to T-Money, and I was talking to a handful of other Hexicans. And as I'm talking to them, I noticed, people in the background, taking a photo or getting somewhat close and doing a scan. So it really worked well. Even yesterday when I was changing the spark plugs in my car, this lady is like this, one of the Hex shirts that Hex sweater, I guess, that I made. It just says Hex, and it's got the logo on the front and the back. But she's like, Hex, how much do you think it's going to go up? And so, that didn't even say hex.com or anything, but I guess just immediately she knew it was a cryptocurrency and probably not a stock, But it's really catching on, and the word is spreading like a wildfire. And with Pulsechain, that's only going to exacerbate it even more. We see that the Pulsechain Telegram is growing exponentially. When I look at the Pulsechain Telegram, it's got 22,012 members, and the Hex one's got 23,100. So the Pulsechain is definitely climbing, and about to surpass the Hex one, which is really amazing. Like I said, Richard, he's always been very generous. That's what attracted me to him in the first place. Was just the first videos that he had were the first videos that I had seen early 2017, and it was the self-help. And then find out, oh, he's a Bitcoin OG, and oh, I'm in crypto too. So shout out to Richard for always being genuine. Sometimes you have to be able to filter out the noise to be able to find, it's like sifting gold, I guess. You got to filter out through all this stuff to get to the flakes of gold and stuff like that. Yeah, get well, Naga. Yeah, one thing that a lot of people don't consider, I've been to Colorado before, which I guess is known for its elevation, and I know yeah, he's kind of in the Mexico area. But anytime you travel from one place to the next, and you kind of got an elevation difference and stuff like that, it can definitely affect you. And same thing with the Vegas weather. I'm happy that next year it's not going to be at the same time, because what a hot time it was. Kept having to bring the towel everywhere. But yeah, there's a lot of people that, and I know Naga's been there many times, but yeah, when I came back, I definitely had to get hydrated and recover a little bit from the lack of sleep. But yeah, he should be feeling better soon. And then yeah, same thing with Funding Jim. That's one guy that I didn't get to meet because he was really, really sick. And so happy that he's doing better. Gary's doing better. And actually, let's see. 1 second here. I've got one of the cards that Gary made me. So really appreciate Gary. What an amazing guy. But so this is one of the cards. So it's just got the normal profile pic that I use, and then it's got a little QR code here, and then on the back it's got one right there as well. But you can actually, Gary's demonstrated this before, but we can do it again. You just tap it on the back of your phone, and then when your phone's unlocked, it'll prompt you to go to like the browser, and it'll go to pretty much like my social media page, which I thought was really cool because it's another way that you can market yourself, and it's another way. Sorry about this. I'm so Seattle's hot today, but it's another way that you can market yourself, and it's another way that you can, like when you give someone a paper business card. Not only nowadays are people more like sketched out, I guess, by that, like they don't want to, touch it if it came from someone else's hand. But if you have it digital, someone is more likely to keep that tab open and not close out of it immediately than if they just have a piece of paper. I know Gary's been to a lot of conventions and things like that, and he's mentioned that, most conventions and meetups, I guess, people are just, passing out their business cards and stuff like that. And most of the cards that they receive, they don't even look at, or they just, throw them away, stuff like that. So let me go back up to the chat right here. There's a lot of people. I mean, thanks everyone for joining. Like I said, had to make up for the lack of the stream on Sunday and Thursday. So Thursday we should be back to the Nights of Crypto, and then Sunday will be my normal stream again at 2:00 Pacific Standard Time. But oh, nice, dude, Henry. Thanks, man. He did a little super chat. Cheers. Yeah, and dude, Henry, I think you've got a photo of me and Naga, dude. I would totally like that if you still have it. Yeah. That's exactly right. It was Henry. Yeah. So Henry and his wife were amazing. The really cool thing about Hexicans, right, is most people, if you're willing to like be vulnerable and like open yourself up to people and stuff like that, and like introduce your family and stuff like that to other people and Hexicans, it really goes to show you the level of trust that those people have to be able to do that. And so Henry was another great guy, him and his wife. And yeah, it was amazing to meet you guys and hang out. There was so many fun venues. Like I said, it was the first time I had been, but there was a lot of cool venues and amazing people that I got to meet. So Marcavelli, hey, good to see you. Marion, hey, what's up, Marion? Hope you're doing well. Another fun lady that I got to meet that's a Hexican, and we went to the Bellagio. Like the actual thumbnail of the video here is it's at the Bellagio in the main building, and there's like a Rolex shop. I should have actually went there. That in the building, that would have been cool. But that's where we took the massive photo. And so Maddie can confirm the numbers, but it was about 300. So I know Maddie had kind of set that out as a goal. So that was really awesome. And shout out to him, T-Money. Let's see, another gentleman named Barry, and then Lewis, T-Money's brother. Their website is freedomtv.info. But those guys are Vegas natives, and they really had all the connections, right? They're the ones that got us all of the discounts with the pass and with the badge, and everyone that they knew treated us like family, and it was a really cool experience, a really good experience. It's awesome that if you're going to host a meetup, what better person to kind of organize it than natives that live there. All right, 1 second here. Let me get some more water. Okay, cool. Hey, what's up, Melby Tony? Let's see. Ballet Brian, good to see you, man. Yeah. Hex is doing good, right? We'll cover that in just a second here. We'll go over to Richard's channel and cover some of the Pulse stuff, right? Because seems like it's going to be imminent. Feel like it's going to be this week, but who knows, man? Who knows? I feel like a Smurf here with how much teasing's going on from Richard. But we know it's close. We know it's close, and I'm happy that it has not been delayed, but I'm happy that he's taking the time, right, to do it right, because how many times have you seen in other cryptocurrencies where a project or a team they launched a little bit too early, and then everything just went downhill from there because they skipped some important steps, or they didn't catch a bug until after it had been launched. So T-Shares, what's up? Sandy B, On My Hex by Kevin Conway. Okay. Let's see. Pay Me Hex, Crypto CPT. Yes, the Hex community is amazing, full of smart people. Let's see. I learned so much about crypto. Thanks. Ank, Superman. Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, Scott. Hey, it was cool to see you last night. I know I've seen you in a lot of the streams and stuff like that, but it was cool to see you in Joe Hexotic stream on Discourse Syndicate. That was pretty cool. Nice to see you as well. Let's see here. The Hex Vegas t-shirts are great quality. They really are. And as someone that's, made my own Hex shirts a couple of times, you can't necessarily do direct to garment with the color gradient of Hex. Like even these ones that Crypto Style sells, it's kind of like purple, sorry, right there. The magenta at the top is kind of like purple because it's, like I said, it's for the most part direct to garment as opposed to like a vinyl type thing. But they did a really good job. The quality of the t-shirts, to his point, are very nice, and I guess you can wash it like multiple times, and the actual QR code scan thing that you do is going to last a long time. So that's the really cool part, because with one of the shirts that I made, I tried to put my QR code in the back, and since it was direct to garment, it just didn't work. So looks like you can scan it, but you actually can't. All right, let's see. Jay Everything, hey, how you doing? Yeah, Wales, hey, yeah, dude, good to see you for like 2 seconds. Next time I want to, converse a little bit more. But genuine guy, and it was really, really cool to, see him go. And I'm happy that, like I mentioned with Henry, but with with Wales and his job and stuff like that, I was kind of curious if how people were going to be able to respect the privacy and stuff like that. And thankfully everyone was respectful and didn't post anything and didn't tag him and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, it's him that's volunteering his time, right, and his information with us. So I'm happy that his privacy and stuff like that was maintained, and that he came. What a great guy. Let's see here. Crypto King Silver Sailor. What's up, man? He's called his nickname is the Producer. That guy is amazing. He's always working hard, man. I mean, some people say I'm always in the chat rooms, which is true, but that guy is in like a million different chat rooms at once. And so he's always getting, he's actually the one that got the Gentleman of Crypto interview with Richard, which was like one of Richard's best, interviews in a long time, if ever. So that guy was great. And, just some of the other stuff that he's done for Discourse Syndicate is absolutely amazing too. And I should be talking with RG3 this week now that I'm back consistently. on how we can somehow get my normal schedule into the Discourse Syndicate. Otherwise, I'll try and adapt and kind of go from there, because I did tell him that I was going to participate and help out with that. So let's see. Rick in 305. Awesome job. We should have done it in Miami. Hey, the beautiful thing about this first Hex meetup is it went so successful. And a lot of people, they, from what I've heard, from some of the consensus that I've heard of people, they didn't know, how well it was going to go. And so now that we see that the first one was a success, well, now it's like what Big Pep says, like no one wants to be first, but everyone wants to be next type deal. They see how much fun that we had and stuff like that they want to be at the second one. So the beautiful thing about that is, sure, the first one was in Vegas, and I think some of the other ones are going to be in Vegas too. But we can also do like, global meetups and, give me an excuse to travel Europe and, just some of these other countries too. And meet all the Hexicans, right? Because Hexicans really are global and worldwide. Okay. Let's cover a couple of these comments. They're adding up quickly. Wales didn't get to meet Gary either. Yeah, Gary was super duper sick, and I'm super thankful for Hex Monkey. I got to conversate with that guy a handful of times, and at the last night, the last night of the event at Big K's penthouse party, and that guy's a super solid, genuine guy. And there's actually a lot of Hexicans in the California area, and I'm in Washington, which is just a state away. So I'd love to make an excuse sometime to maybe do a little Hexican meetup type deal in Cali, and do the same thing, but just in Cali, because there's, like I said, there's probably at least like 20 or 30 Hexicans that I know that are in there, and then how many are in Cali that I don't know but are still there. So 1 second here. Let's scroll up. 1 minute here. Yeah, that is what Gary did. He lives in, let's see, Puerto Rico. I mean, not to get like, I know anything political, people are like one side or the other, but that is what happened with Gary, that before he went to Vegas, he did get one of those. And I guess there's like a 5% reaction or something like that. And anyways, he thought he was going to die, and other people thought he was going to die too, which is absolutely scary. But happy that Gary's doing better now. And like I said, shout out to him. I mean, even though he don't know where I put the card. Oh yeah, right here. So even though he was really sick and stuff like that, Hex Monkey was able to distribute these ones to the people that Gary had made them for. And so shout out to Gary for doing that. Not only for a couple of the people that had paid for them, but also I've got my little tag right there, which I don't want to pull off the wall right now because I got to get up from the exercise ball. But yeah, shout out to Gary, because every Hexican that bought the ticket also had a generic version of one of these, and Gary made all of that. So before we went to Vegas, Gary and I did a little interview and stuff like that, and a little stream, and he made 300 something cards for all the Hexicans. So that was really cool. Let's see here. Wow, I'm not in tune with people wanting business cards. With people not wanting business cards. Oh, I mean, yeah, that was just one of the things that Gary was talking about, that I don't know, maybe I don't really know as much about it, but I've heard at least that with some of those conventions and whatnot, that a lot of those, physical business cards, usually get overlooked, or you got a stack of 50 or 60 different business cards, and you don't go through all of them. But let's see. All right, let me scroll down just a little bit. I want to get onto the Pulsechain information here. 1 second. Yeah, Henry, please do, man, please do. There was a couple of photos, so I got that one with Naga, which thank you for sending that to me. But there was a handful of photos that I got to take. I mean, one of them with Hexologists and one of them at the Bellagio with everyone else, and it was really cool to, like I mentioned, for the Hexicans that were comfortable. I asked them before, like, hey, do you mind if I take a photo? Because I'm not just going to do it and then post it if the person didn't want to be there. But it was really cool to document that experience, right? And hang out with the Hexicans and take some photos. Yeah, they really are the hookup, man. Being that they're like a, plastic card, kind of like the style of like your debit card too. They're not going to like wither away or, break and stuff like that. So I'm going to put that in my wallet. And that way if people are like, oh, what do you do? I can just, tap the back of their phone and they can see the YouTube channel. Johnny Aguilar. I hope that's how you pronounce the last name. I might be butchering that, but hey, hope you're doing well. I know he posted a photo, I think like yesterday or the day before, of him and his daughter, and his daughter's got a shirt that says like, I told you so, I think, something like that, and it's got the Hex logo. So that's awesome. I love all the Hex related, merchandise or, shirts and stuff like that. I mean, I've got the cup over there. It says Tears of Hex Haters, and it's really cool because I've never been a logo guy. When I was younger, when I was like really, really young in grade school and stuff, I was a fan of like, the Nikes and the Jordans and stuff like that, because that was what the cool kids wore. But ever since I kind of grew out of that phase, it was like plain shirts and stuff. But when Hex came out, it's like, man, this is actually something I care about, and this is something that people are, interested in the logo, and they're interested in why you're so passionate about it. So let's see. All right, Inviting Freedom. Hey, hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. Let's see. Marion says, thanks, Bran. Doing better. The weather got my sinus clogged for days. Me too. That's what I'm saying. A lot of Hexicans had the same thing, and yeah. So that's good too. Let's see. Hexagade. Holy moly. So many comments. Okay, let's get through this real quick here. Hey, Crypto CPT. I totally know what you mean. I mean, it's tough to tell because with anything software, Richard's mentioned this, but it's really hard to predict, like, oh, this is going to be the exact date. I mean, for all of us that were there during Hex, it was like, let's see, it was like March 2019 that he was like, 4 more weeks. And we're all obviously getting excited in anticipation, and then ended up being, December 2nd that it got launched. So the beautiful thing about that is you can always look at things two ways, like, oh, this is taking forever, or how do I get as much capital as I can for this amazing second opportunity that if it's anything like the first, we're going to, multiply our money like the damn money printers. Travel to Tijuana. Yo, Hexman. Hey, hope you're doing well. Mudhog. I see a lot of new names and noob questions in Pulse chat. Signals a lot of interest as word gets out. Totally. Yeah, I've had coworkers. I've had, just people say like, what's this Pulsechain stuff? You're talking about Hex and now you're talking about Pulsechain. What's this? And so it's been cool to educate people. Let's see. Hey, Corey. Hey, man. Hope you're doing well. It's good to hang out with you and meet you. Let's see. Hey, Balliot. What's going on, Maine? How are you? Doing great. Feeling good. And happy to be back at the streaming setup. And tell you what, I almost got like a withdrawal. I'm itching because got a withdrawal from not streaming. It's one of those things that's like really fun. I mean, I know Richard, he'll use like the consensus, I guess, of the chat to kind of bounce ideas off, and I love the engagement with the chat. So that's it's really cool. Doing great. Dan Emmons, Balliot Brand is back at it. Hell yeah. Let's see. All right, let me scroll down just a smidge. I'm gonna skip a couple comments here. You know what? Yeah, let me just, without further ado, let me go to Richard's Twitter, because if I don't, I don't think I'll ever get to it. Let's share the screen. And yeah, I also feel like kind of rusty too from not streaming for a couple of weeks. So let's go over to his Twitter. Okay. One more minute here. Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, this is just Richard's Twitter. This is another Hexican that with their Hex gains, they bought a Tesla. I don't know which one this is. I know there's like Tesla, like Model 3, Model S, Model X, something like that. There's too many, characters that I don't know all of them. But I know this one is not cheap, And so that's another Hexican that, just bought some, they rewarded themselves and they bought something cool with their gains. All right, so let's go back to his main Twitter, and let's just scroll down a smidge. I always like to do tweets and replies. That way you're not just seeing his tweets, but you can also see, obviously, his replies too. Okay, let's just start scrolling down. So there's so many. If I actually click on this, Richard, yeah, he's got this massive thread. I've shared this before, but I think it's really important because it kind of shows you the epitome of what crypto is right now. But there's this massive thread of just rug pulls or hacks or exit scams. And if you just click on any one of his tweets that kind of reference one of them, it'll bring it back to the massive thread. So thought that was pretty cool. I guess there was some sort of like Shiba swap, like this thing, like minimum viable Shiba swap rug, 120 million in liquidity that could just be rugged. But yeah, let's scroll down just a smidge. Let's cover some of the information. Okay, this is really cool. I know the last number I had seen was like 6 million, but this is even better. And then M6N I see in the chat too. It's cool to meet you as well, along with Super Hexwin. That was a cool experience. But Richard says, "Hey, longevity community. So far, about $8 million in donations have indicated they'll donate so far. Wanted a good excuse to donate. Anyways, want a good excuse to donate to Sens? Pulsechain is a great excuse. If you want to save your life or others, now is a great chance to fund the research." And like I mentioned, this really speaks to the heart of Richard, and the reason that he had chose, his last name's not Hart. The reason that he had chose that was intentional. And the thing that I like about Richard so much, and I like to think I share a lot of similarities and whatnot, but everything that he does is with intent. And so the fact that his first videos were, self-help and stuff like that, he had also talked about, like, if you want to fix the world, you got to get people what they want first, which is get them wealthy, get them rich, get them mad gains that they don't know what to do with. And now once everyone is rich and wealthy and stuff, now you can, focus on fixing the meat and things like that. And so $8 million in donations have already, said that they were going to commit, which is absolutely amazing because it hasn't even started yet. The sacrifice phase hasn't even started yet, but it's just so cool to see because there's what people say, and then, or there's what people say that Richard is doing, and then there's what Richard is doing. And it's usually the opposite as far as the people that are saying it are usually the haters. But it's amazing to see that much money has already been committed, because someone like Vitalik, I think he had donated like 5 million, like 3 to 5 million, something like that. And Richard's already got a lot of money committed there. So shout out to that. He's constantly making the world a better place. But let's scroll down just a smidge here. Yeah, I like this. So Richard says, Hexicans, educating Twitter trolls is your domain. I've got to stay focused on building cool stuff. I must avoid the joy of crushing haters. And I really appreciate that because, yeah, as much as it is fun to, if someone's attacking you, kind of jump on and whatnot, it also can be like a big distraction if that's all you're doing, right? So it's cool that Richard, he is good at prioritizing his time. All right, I know since I did tweets and replies, there's way more stuff that we got to go through, but we're getting to the good stuff. Let's get to it real quick. Here's another Hexican. This guy, I've seen his Twitter multiple times and whatnot, but anyways, he bought 3 Teslas, 3 fully loaded Tesla 3s for his sons with hex gains. And so, people will say that, there used to be so much FUD that like, in Hex you lock your coins, and now no one's going to be able to sell because your coins are locked. And it's like, no, you don't have to lock the coins. But anyways, it's cool to see how many Hexicans have taken profits here and there, because it's not like they're selling their whole bag. When the beautiful thing about Hex, right, is when it goes up so much, well, now if you want to realize a gain, now you don't have to realize as much. You don't have to sell as much because the price is going up. And so if you consider what Bitcoin did, and that Bitcoin was pennies, and now I don't even know what it is, but it's 30,000 or whatever it is. You'd have to sell a lot less in the future if you just waited, as opposed to blowing your load and selling all of it right now for something that's going to depreciate in value anyways. And so this is also important too for people. I mean, I know not everyone is like comfortable in front of a camera and stuff like that, but especially if it has changed their life, there's a lot of people that have made Hex testimonials, and Richard does have on his website, I think it's like hex.com/maybe testimonials, something like that. But there's a lot of Hexicans that have done testimonials, and so if you're gonna post up like this is good enough, right? But it would be cool to see some of these people that do this to do a video as well, to also substantiate that claim of the photo, right? Okay, wondering where the good stuff is. Oh, this is kind of funny. Eric Wall, he had lost a bet, and actually, I'm not going to click on it, but there was this photo where he had changed his profile to just this without the laser eyes, and then I think it was Hex Kong that had changed it to the Hex eyes, and they happened to get more likes. Okay, so I'm on the tweets and replies, and I'm not finding what I'm looking for. Let me go to media, because there's some front end photos, and excuse me while I just scroll down a little bit, but there's some front end photos that Richard had posted that I kind of wanted to go over. Here's a Hexican, a billboard that a Hexican had done, and you can see that that's where the location is too. All right, let's keep scrolling down. And if I can't find it right this second, then I'll probably just come back to it in a few minutes. Here's another thing too, critical vulnerability for Windows, where let's see, Richard had mentioned that pretty much they could kind of like remote into, someone, if they wanted to, could kind of like remote into your computer. This is something that I had just enabled as well, now that I was back, but it's definitely important to have your operational security and just your computer security, up to snuff as much as you can, because the last thing you want to do is, think that you're downloading a MetaMask or, being secure with your keys and stuff like that, and then actually end up doing the wrong thing. So, okay. So I'm not finding it now. So let me just stop the screen share. I'll scroll on the, I'll scroll down a little bit later, but pretty much what Richard had posted was also in his most recent video, but the code for the sacrifice is pretty much done. The only thing that Richard mentioned that was necessary was just a couple, sentences and whatnot on the website and the actual launch button for the sacrifice phase to start. So I think that's really exciting. I think it's sooner than we think, and it's been nice, like I mentioned, to build up as much capital reserves as possible. So it is also going to have a MetaMask integration. So when you go to pulsechain.com, you'll be able to click the little MetaMask and directly be able to sacrifice from your funds from either your cold storage or from your MetaMask right there. And that's important because you want to reduce the confusion as much as possible. And inevitably, even with Hex, right? Inevitably, there was people, even myself, had sent some funds to the contract address instead of minting it via the AA. But anyways, security is the most important thing you're wanting to do, and especially when you're sending large amounts of capital for the sacrifice, double, triple check that what you're doing is correct and that it is going to that address, the proper sacrifice address. Because, with the blockchain, once you send it, there's no customer service that you can call to get the refund, right? Hey, what's up, Maddie? He founder of tshare.app. So that's something that he had released during Vegas. I got to use it for a few minutes. I still need to play with it a little bit more, but I've only heard solid things from that. And shout out to him and the guy that helped create it as well, because how many times have we seen Hexicans take things into their own hands in their own matter and just work on something that they didn't see was there before. And so Maddie is definitely king of doing that, right? He did that with the online Hex conference, and then with the physical conference in Vegas, he took the initiative. And so really appreciate him. And the cool thing, the unique thing, when I mentioned we have so many talented Hexicans, so many artists and stuff like that, Maddie, his profession, was a therapist and things like that. So it's really cool I've always been interested in psychology, but it's really cool to hear the psychology background that he mentions when he talks about staking, and that, Maddie's the first person that I heard say that when you're staking, it's almost like sending your money, but in the fourth dimension, because it's in the future, And so where else in crypto do you see people with an average of 5.5 years, hard locking and burning their tokens until that day that their stake ends? It's absolutely amazing. And it's really cool to see the results speaking louder than all the people that were hating on it. Okay, let's get back to some of the comments here. Man, shout out to everyone in chat. We got 68 people, so that's really cool, and really appreciate all the people watching. Okay, let's scroll up just a smidge and say what's up to everyone. Getting that Balliet brand pump. Let's take a look. Share screen. Let's go to the uniswap.hex.vision. Let's delete all this stuff. But yeah, just version 2. Yeah, pretty much 8.5 cents. The other beautiful thing about Hex, like I mentioned, that the results speak louder than any of the FUD or the slander and stuff like that, or even people talking good about it is always great. Word of mouth is always great. But when you got a price chart, this is just the version 2. When you go to Hex on version 1, and you just look at all right, let's get this stuff out of here. 1 second here. So when you just zoom out and you look at something like this, what a thing of beauty, what a thing of art. And it's amazing to see. The reason that we had this dip is, it had just launched, and then the Uniswap and whatnot. But I think it was right here that it had got listed on the Uniswap, and the decentralized exchanges. And anyways, you can just see how many, percent gains that we've had from the very beginning. And, that's not factoring the T-share growth. The T-share growth is absolutely insane. So it's really cool to see that the people that had stood by Richard, the product, the community, it's cool to see that behavior and that bravery of standing through the FUD was rewarded. So that was really cool to see. Hey, what's up, Pulse Lord? How you doing, man? M6N, yep. Yeah, I know him and Super Hex. They had rented some Lambos. Another Hexican that I know him by their Twitter was the Great Delusionist. Met him and his girlfriend at the marquee party. But they those three people, they had all rented Lambos, and so that was really cool. That was one of the things that I had wanted to do. Obviously you kind of want like a general plan, like, oh, I want to do this, want to do that, but you don't get to make every event. But I want to do the same thing in Seattle. Like, even though I didn't get to rent the Lambo in Vegas, I've been looking, and there's, even in Bellevue, Seattle area, there's a couple places that I can rent some Lambos. So I want to do that just for the hell of it, and just take one of those out for a day. They're actually not too bad when you look at it for the whole day, as opposed to like an hour or two. But that'd be really cool, and that way I can kind of join you guys with the Lambo stuff. All about Hex, all about the Hex on lunch break. Awesome, thanks for tuning in. Fleazer says, hello, Brand, good to catch you. Greetings from Europe. Cool. And then before I get to some of the other comments, oh yeah, Briz, hope you're doing well. Crypto Donkey. So there was, like I mentioned, there was someone on the Hex Radio app, which is actually the Pulsechain Calm Telegram audio. But someone had asked me, they were like, strategy for the sacrifice phase, right? Richard had talked about like the first 3 days kind of being like the optimal days to like sacrifice for the most amount of credit. And then I think after that is when the bonding curve will kick in. But what I plan on doing is it's either going to be 50 or 75% that I average within those first 3 days. So, let's just say, 75% within those first 3 days, do an average. And then once that bonding curve kicks in, then spend sacrifice the rest of the 25% throughout like a dollar cost average of those, bonding curve days. Because the way that Richard had mentioned it's going to work is it's going to be based off of like a 30-minute time-weighted average price. So you can't just wick up the price really quick and then have people sell into it and then get your credit. It's got to stay up, for 30 minutes. Like, that's when you'll get that average. So I think that's really unique. And I think that even though Richard had mentioned that the first 3 days are going to be beneficial, that's great. That's why I'm going to be sacrificing, most of my bag allocated during those first 3 days. But I also know that, maybe there's going to be people that didn't get in on those first 3 days that get in towards the latter half of the bonding curve. And maybe the price, cancels out some of that bonding curve. And if I average the rest of those days, maybe I'll be able to, get a little bit more than just doing all of it on one day. So that's what I plan on doing. Everyone's got their own strategies when it comes to that. But, really, really excited for the sacrifice phase. It's going to be great. Hey, Crypto303, he says, glad to be on the journey with you, bro. Hey, man, you too. It's 369. Thank you. It's really cool. There's kind of like what Wales had mentioned. There's like a feeling that you get like, oh, okay, all these people share the same thing in common. And, Hexicans, Pulsechans, and followers of Richard Hard and Sci-Vive. but you never really know until, you meet the people in person. Because just like I think Wales and even RG3 last night had said that, someone can lie to you. I mean, even, hypothetically myself, but, they could be lying to you this whole time digitally. But when you meet someone in person and you give them eye contact and, listen to their body language and stuff like that, you can see if they're legit or not. And it was really cool to see that all the Hexicans at the Vegas meetup, none of the interactions were awkward. Quite the opposite. It was all really exciting and ecstatic. And like I mentioned, there's actually another person, Lazor. I guess I've been mispronouncing it the whole time as Lazor, but it's Lazor. And he was really cool to meet. I think it was him and his wife that was there too. But yeah, it was exciting to meet the people, Wales and, Motley and Coffee and all those guys that I've streamed with. But then another exciting part about it was, the usernames, like I mentioned, the Great Delusionist and, just a handful of other usernames that I don't really know off right bat, but really cool to put a face to a name. Did I say you rock? Hell yeah. Hey, thanks, man. You rock too. Let's see. All right, 1 second. It's a hot day over here. Hot day in Bellevue. Hey, what's up, Finn Bear? Just got the word you were live. Yeah, man. I didn't get to make it to my place on Thursday or Sunday. So back here now and back up at the streaming setup. And I was like, man, like I said, kind of fiending for a live stream and to engage with everyone. And let's see here. What else we got? Oh, yeah. Michael was another Hexican that I had met, and he had brought some of his family members. And there was this really cool venue called the Mob Museum, and that's where I had met him. And so really cool to meet him there. And it was actually a really cool event because I didn't realize until after the fact, until like the middle of the event, but there was like two different bracelets, and everyone else just got one bracelet, which I didn't realize. But at the Mob Museum, they've got like a secret, like a hidden room behind this like big ass, photo painting type deal that was hung on the wall. And there's like a security guard outside of it that was kind of, making sure that only the people with the second, band got in. But I was able to go in there, and Wales and Motley and, pretty much a lot of the OGs were in there. And I never ended up, actually Maddie was in there too, but never ended up going in there for too long because it was already kind of, crowded and whatnot, and didn't want to get stuck in one place for too long, kind of wanted to take advantage of meeting everyone else. But yeah, that was really cool. Let's see here. All about the Hex. Hey, that's awesome, man. Yeah, my mom kind of lives over in that area, so that'd be cool. I know someone else, Pulse Lord, kind of lives, in that vicinity maybe, and that's awesome, man. Yeah, Washington Hexicans. Hey, what's up, Donald? Hope you're doing well. Toby1 Hexobi. Don't let that innocent face fool you. Brand can party. Hey, that is true. Let's see. Yeah, dude, I know, Finn Bear. I know, man. Jeez, it's a hot day today. Got my water right here. Yeah. Okay. I thought it was. I didn't want to mispronounce, but yeah. So, Lazor is a Hex softball, and when I was talking to him about it, it's pretty much something that he has sponsored all by himself. And shout out to him. He's got like a Hex softball team, and he made their own jerseys and whatnot that are Hex related. And so that guy was really cool, and really cool to see, like I mentioned, people taking things into their own initiative. Murphy in Hawaii. How about sacrifice USDC and have sell orders on your hex at stupid high prices, then sacrifice that too. Yeah, I mean, the beautiful thing about the sacrifice phase and things like that is there's just so many ways that you can go about it, you know. From what I've seen, even with just other investing strategies, is dollar cost averaging is something that I know is a proven successful strategy, and I know dollar cost crypto got his name because of that. You know, he's a firm believer. But yeah, I mean, you can sacrifice USDC. The only thing about that, in my opinion, and the reason that all of us talk about sacrificing hex is because, say, if you already have the hex and say it's at 8 cents, even though it's at 8.5, but it's at 8 cents, and say when you go to sacrifice it because of the 30-minute time weighted average, say it jumps up to like 20 cents. Okay, well, and then if it stays there within that 30 minutes that you sacrifice, well, now your average is going to be 20 cents. But if you're sacrificing other altcoins or stable coins and things like that, with the stable coin, the value is just going to be what it is. It's which I guess is more certain. But I think that the price potential for you to have more value is better with hex, right? Because most likely it's not going to go down during the sacrifice phase. Most likely it's going to freaking pump like a madman, and that's just what I'll be doing. I mean, yeah, you can sacrifice USDC. You can sacrifice a lot of altcoins and things like that. So the beautiful thing is everyone's going to have their own strategies. Yeah, M6N. Like I said, man, I've been looking. There's I saw the Lambos that you guys had, and I think it was like the Huracan something. And yeah, I'm probably going to rent that for either like a day or a half a day. Like, part of me wonders, like, man, if I rent it for a whole day, sure, that'll be great, but maybe a half a day will be enough time. So yeah, Finbear. Well, and the other thing is too is I've got an air conditioning unit, but it's loud, and so when I'm streaming, don't want to be loud. So yeah, we got that going here. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, no, Donald, I got one, man. I got one. I just don't want to turn it on because I'm considerate of the background noise. So it's all good, man. All right, what else we got? Rated hex. I'm torn between staking more eHex right now, or just sacrifice it for Pulse and buy pHex. Yeah, that's a very personal decision. Thankfully, I already have my ladders, set up, and very comfortable with the T-shirts that I have. The beautiful thing about this is, sure, other, since it's going to be like a photocopy of the Ethereum system state, besides like 2 different coins, there's going to be the actual T-shirts that you have and the stakes that you have. Those are all going to get copied over, and most stuff like Link and whatnot, and Cardano and stuff, like, you can't really stake it. You're not gonna, so with Hex, you're getting like, 2 bitches for the price of one, like Naga likes to say, where the actual stakes you have are going to get copied over. So that's great. I don't need to do any more personally, because I already feel comfortable with the ladder and feel comfortable knowing that that's going to get copied over and just duplicate the interest. But I mean, yeah, you definitely bring up a good point. I mean, I think that people that are doing just one thing or the other might benefit from, kind of averaging into all of it as opposed to just one thing or the other. So we'll see. I mean, like I mentioned, everyone's got their own strategies and techniques. And at the end of the day, if you're in Hex, if you're going to be participating in Pulsechain and getting a copy of Hex on Pulsechain, you're going to do well. You're going to do well. The real question for people that are listening, that are wondering if they're going to be successful, is how long do you plan on holding for? Because, sure, it's great that you bought Bitcoin at a penny or $1 or $30 like Richard bought, but did you hold all the way through 65? I mean, 65,000, you bet your ass I'd be selling some, but did you hold all the way through that point, or did you buy at 30 and did you sell it, 1,000? So you always kind of got to, factor like that things can go a lot higher than you think they can, and especially in cryptocurrency. So, there's one thing that dollar cost talks about a lot, which is actually really smart, and I've heard, articulated many, many times. But if you are going to sell something, like say if you're going to sell Hex, the beautiful thing is since you're earning interest, if you're a staker, you're always going to have more Hex coming in. But if you're ever going to sell a cryptocurrency, the lesson is kind of like, don't sell all of it, because even if you kept like 5 or 10% for like a moon bag, well, maybe 2 or 3 years later, it goes up another 1,000, 10,000x. And, if you had sold all of it before that pump, well, like I said, maybe you got a Lambo at the time that's depreciating, but now you're going to be kicking yourself that you didn't have that moon bag for later. All right, what else we got? It's kind of random, but when I went to Vegas, instead of just buying my own suitcase, I just used my girlfriend's, and she's from Venezuela, and there was a couple of things in there that I had to hold off on to the side, and one of them, I might just keep this, but let's take a look. Dos Bolivares. So this is this is worth absolutely nothing, but it's the Venezuelan currency and the Bolivar. But just like with Wales only, he had a stream that was talking about Fiat, right? Which is what this is. They were talking about something about, I don't know, something about Fiat and whatnot. But the point is Fiat. I mean, if you look at Weimar Germany or just the history of Fiat in general, it always does have an expiration type deal before the value just kind of like hyperinflates or loses a lot of value. And so I thought this was kind of funny because in Venezuela, like I said, this is just 2 bolivares, but there was I remember seeing a long time ago, because their currency is just hyperinflated to absolute madness. But there was people that the actual fiat itself was not worth very much, and they would end up making like purses and crafts and stuff like that out of it, because the paper itself wasn't worth very much, or during the winter time would kind of use that to keep themselves warm for a fire and stuff like that, as opposed to keeping what little value it had. So it's cool to, Richard talks about this, that with say the dollar, there's no control that we have with how much can be printed, right? They don't need to ask Americans permission of, oh, can we print, more trillions of dollars? No, they just do it. And then, they'll use that for war and stuff like that. But the beautiful thing about Hex is, and just cryptocurrency in general and programmable currency, is, with stuff like Hex with no admin keys and things like that, let me remove the comment from the screen, is that, now you've got something that, like I mentioned, no one controls for the most part. It's just the code. And so Richard has talked about that, wanting to live in a world where, we can trust mathematics and, programs and stuff like that, as opposed to people, because people always become, people are fallible, and people eventually, can become corrupted, even if they didn't think they would. So anyways, let me get back into the chat here. 1 second here. Hey, what's up, Donald? Says, and also it's been cool to see you in the audio chat, but he says, I do believe that Hex on Ethereum will retain a lot more value in the long term. The beautiful thing about this, some people wonder like, oh, which one's going to have more value, Hex on Ethereum or Hex on Pulsechain? And at the end of the day, I think they're both going to be very valuable. Hex on Pulsechain will allow people to do those shorter stakes and smaller ladders and whatnot, since the fees are going to be a lot lower. But the Ethereum, like, by no means do I think that that's going to tank anytime soon. The beautiful thing about it is it's literally the same exact code. It's the same exact Hex contract and stuff like that, but it's just copied onto the Pulsechain blockchain. So the cool thing is even if there does end up being like a discrepancy, if you've got like a scale, well then, people like interest and people like that insane APY. So if there's more of a better deal on Ethereum and, the people that want to take advantage of that can afford the higher fees, well, then they're going to, and it's going to keep that price high. And same thing with the Pulsechain. I mean, it's all around going to be amazing. And I think it's really cool that Richard is beating Ethereum to the 2.0 launch. I mean, I think that that's absolutely awesome to beat them to the punch. So yeah, I mean, I think that eHex is going to be very valuable. I think that pHex is going to be very valuable. I think that Pulse is going to be very valuable. There's this guy, Angel Black, absolutely intelligent guy, and in the Pulsechain chat, and he was just talking about, using the analogy of this being like buying Ethereum during the ICO phase. I think it was like 15 cents, something like that. But like I mentioned with the Bitcoin, like it doesn't matter what price you bought it at. It matters how long did you hold it for. And so there's going to be a lot of people that, make a 10x, 15x, whatever, and then just sell it all. But I think that the actual network itself, the underlying technology, is what's going to make Pulsechain super valuable, because it's got a 25% like a burn rate for all of the transactions, and that it's got zero inflation. What that pretty much means is, you got something completely deflationary, and then you got something that's being burned, 25% of each fee, something like that. You're going to get over time, and I think rather quickly, you're going to get that value of Pulse going up pretty good. Because one thing Richard has talked about is, anything that he designs is going to have no shortage of fundamentals in game theory. Yeah, what's up, David? Hey, it was awesome to hang out with you. Let's see here. Let me actually answer this other question first. Yeah, Dan, Gary is doing good, thankfully. Thanks also to Gary's twin, jokingly, but thanks to Hex Monkey and Gary, they had stayed at the same Airbnb. And yeah, Hex Monkey had stayed past when his expectation was, and he had kind of helped nurse Gary back into shape and stuff like that. And so yeah, shout out to Hex Monkey for doing that. Like I said, it goes to show you the quality of Hexicans, helping another stranger to get better and get healthy again when they're on like the deathbed and stuff like that. So really cool to see, and also really scary to see as well. Tony T, do you think that most of the sacrifices will include the 25% tax write-off? What? To my knowledge, I'm pretty sure it's just the sends part of the donation that would qualify for the tax write-off, and it's 75%. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question, but let's just skip that for now. David says lower price on Ethereum Hex, but higher interest. Yeah, exactly. And then he says Hex on Pulsechain, higher price, but less interest. Totally. Yeah, David's another cool Hexican that, always see him in the chat, and I've seen a handful of photos of him before at some of the other, Hex meetups, and really cool, genuine guy. he's got some cool dance moves too. And yeah, it was awesome to spend some time with him and everyone else, man. That was really, really cool. Yep. He's doing better. Let's see here. We got Stylus 19. How you doing, Brand? Good to see you, buddy. Hey, doing great. Feeling good. Okay. Yeah. I'm pretty sure this is correct. So, Jay, everything says, so that would mean that the T-share rate on the Pulsechain would rise faster. So yeah, they're talking about, since Pulsechain is going to be cheaper fees, when the mechanism of the T-share rate in Hex, the mechanism for it going up is based on, people end staking, right? And so if you've got people that are, staking and staking constantly, then it's just going to keep ratcheting up that T-share rate. But since it's going to be copied over, since the fork itself is just a direct copy, some people don't realize this, but hopefully you'll realize it now. The T-share rate that we have for Hex on Ethereum, it's not going to reset. It's not going to reset to 0. It's still going to be that 18,000 per T-share. But I do think it is going to go up faster, because you're just going to have people that couldn't participate in the Hex on Ethereum because of maybe the fees. So now you're going to have people that are participating in the staking and unstaking, and that is going to, in my opinion, make the T-share rate higher on Pulsechain than it is Ethereum. And the cool thing about it too is, like I mentioned, it's the same code. It's just a different network that it's on. So, Ethereum has, I shouldn't say screwed us over, but yeah, it's arbitrarily raised the S load function many times, which have, Dan talks about this a lot, but has made the fee for calculating the end stake, a lot higher. And ever since Hex was launched, I think the S load function was raised like 14 times, something like that. Like at the beginning, it used to be pennies. Like pennies, you do like I remember my first stake was it was actually like a day. But anyways, the fees to end it were like a penny. And now, because the S load function has been, raised so many times, now you just got, higher fees than were at the beginning. But with Pulsechain, it's just going to be, back to the cheap fees. Yeah. Johnny says it will move faster. I agree with that. And also, shout out to Johnny, because he, he's suing CoinMarketCap. And I didn't get to mention this. I'd wanted to. I'd watched his whole video on Twitch. His last video on Twitch, if you haven't watched it, you need to. You need to be following him. I'm pretty sure his name on Twitch is like Chaos Experience. But Johnny talks about the lawsuit with CoinMarketCap. And in my opinion, I think it was one of his most important videos and streams to date. It was very educational, very informative, and it's really cool, as I've said before, that Hexicans, we don't wait for permission. We take things into our own matter and into our own hands. And so it was awesome to see that when Johnny had, I don't know the whole story, but pretty much there's a lot of, when you've got a lawsuit and stuff like that, like you obviously have to have evidence, and there's plenty of evidence on their website that Johnny was alluding to that, gives us ammunition for the court case. And so it's really cool to see people doing that, right? Because Hex is not the first cryptocurrency that CoinMarketCap has just arbitrarily, moved down the market cap ranking. I mean, I know some of the people that are in Celsius and whatnot, I've heard that those people have been, gate kept, and just a handful of other projects too. Don't know them off that, but the point is you've got a website. And I think Johnny said that, Johnny could probably answer this, but it's it's almost like 200 something million views in a month or something like that on their website. And when you've got that many people being lied to, then that's pretty sickening and pretty disgusting, right? Because the intention of cryptocurrency was to get rid of middlemen, and so things like market cap websites, central entities, they are middlemen, and that's why I like people like Clay and things like Nomics so much, because they actually use the data from the blockchain itself. And it goes to show you not the incompetence, because they could be competent if they wanted, but it goes to show you the intent that they have to try and like silence, what's going to be impossible to silence, which is Hex. Sup, Whales? Yeah, looking forward to your guys' quant gang. There's a lot of Hex streams that I tune into, and I got all of the Hex streamers with the notifications on my phone, and that's one of them that I pretty much tune into the whole show every single time. Maddie and Wales and Kareem. Kareem's another guy that was, I got to hang out with him a little bit longer too, maybe for like 30 minutes in total, something like that. And that guy is just as energetic in person as he is on the live stream. And I know Maddie's got a whole bunch of videos of him and Kareem at the club, and it was awesome to see. I mean, the Hexicans can definitely dance, and shout out to Kareem. I know at the Marquee nightclub, he had sponsored one of these like cabanas that were outside, and shout out to him. I mean, Hexicans are so generous. Even this hat, I don't want to remove my headphones because I got the wired ones in, but you can see this hat right here, Casey. I'll have to get his username and plug it in, but he had some sort of like embroidery hookup, and he had made like 90 something hats, and it was really cool. He was actually the second Hexican that I've ever met, Casey, because he was at the Aria as well. So when I got there the first day, him and I had already talked like, oh yeah, the people that do the streams can kind of get first dibs. So shout out to him for that. The hat looks amazing. It's really cool to see the embroidery job too, and it's the second Hex hat that I have, because the first one is just the Hex toy. So yeah, Johnny says I knew it was like some insane number. That's absolutely insane, like 250 million, but 270 million views a month. That is how many people are being lied to when it comes to typing in a cryptocurrency and looking at it by market cap. And speaking of market cap, let's show you guys something else. Let's just see where Hex is at on Nomics. Cool, yeah. So shout out to Clay Collins, the founder of Nomics. So we got Bitcoin, 33,000. Not looking too good. The amazing thing about Richard, he got a lot of crap talk because he is so honest, and he does have that FU money, right? So he doesn't care if what he says offends someone's feelings. But you can see that when it fell out of its parabola, Richard had called it at 65,000. People didn't want to believe. There's this guy like Crypto Kobe, something like that. He's been around for a while. He had doubted Richard when he had called the top in December 2017, and pretty sure he did the same thing this time around. And the recent parabola that it fell out of, and same thing. People don't want to believe it, right? They have their precious little narratives, and they think that they can step to the king. But someone like Richard has been around since the literal beginning. He saw it go from, first he mined Bitcoin at 50 cents, and then he, saw it go from $30 to $2, and had stayed in, all the way till now. He still mentions he has some. So Richard is definitely the most true OG. But anyways, let's get back to it. So yeah, Bitcoin 33K, Ethereum, 2,300. Tether just doing its thing. And Hex has been kind of like fluctuating right now between 4 and 5. It's been in the 4th position a lot recently, but looks like Binance just barely took over. Just barely took over Hex by the market cap. But the beautiful thing about this is this isn't the first time that we've seen Hex in the top 5. Now this is like the 2nd or 3rd time. And each time that we get back into this position, and now that we've got kind of like a bear market and whatnot, you're just going to see Hex, flip Binance again, and then eventually flip Tether and keep going up the ranks. And, people don't think it can happen. But like I mentioned, Richard, he, calls people out on what they think is right. And, he just presents the actual facts and the evidence. So I think that that's really cool. And like I mentioned, that's something I was always a fan of and still am of Richard. All right, let me read Johnny's comment in just a second. Shout out to everyone watching. We've got like 86 people, and I know this is kind of like impromptu stream. I talked about it on Sunday when I did my little video, but shout out to everyone watching. Appreciate every one of you. All right, Johnny says, controlling people's reality by curating the numbers as they see fit. Representing things they have no vested interest in. Under the guise of fair and trusted and transparent data. See, that's the most important part, in my opinion, is that they claim, right, to be, like you had said, they claim to be fair, trusted, and using transparent data. When anyone that can go to just etherscan.com, or sorry, etherscan.io, and type in Hex, you can literally just read the contract and see that, oh, okay, Hex is top 4 or top 5. So it is pretty disgusting to see all of the bad actors, and it's disgusting to see. Someone mentioned BitBoy in one of the comments just a second ago. That guy, and Johnny mentions this too, but there's so many people that are sponsored by these coin ranking sites, right? Because someone like BitBoy has like 1 million viewers or 1 million subscribers, I mean, and it's pretty gross to see them leading the sheep to the slaughter. That's one of the things that like pissed me off so much about 2017 was, I was one of those people that, even though I had followed Richard and I'd always liked him, I'd followed a handful of other people too. And some of those other people just kept leading people to the slaughter. And the point is that those people really do know better. And so when someone knows better, like just like CoinMarketCap or BitBoy, when someone knows better and they're still doing it, like just absolute cringe and absolute, like Johnny had said, misrepresentation. And those are the people that have 1 million subscribers in crypto. So I definitely agree with Archie3's sentiment that, Hexicans not only have been honest since day one, and same thing with Richard, honest since day one, but we're going to stand the test of time. I was actually listening last night to the Tone Bays and Richard Hart and two other lawyers, like Jason something, the other lawyer, but it was pretty much like Tone, 2 lawyers bashing and trying to slander or get Richard into some sort of like liability or lawsuit type deal. But the point is that since day one, since Hex came out, that was the first day that Hex had come out, people had been talking crap, and it's amazing to see that, hey, even with all of the negativity and gatekeeping stuff like that, Hex is still top 5. And I've said this a lot in the past, this analogy, but it's just like a dam, right? You got a dam that builds up, and maybe it's got like a super small leak, and it's the size of a pen and doesn't seem like much, right? But when you have that pressure of 1 pin worth of water going through, well, now you have that pressure building up and until the pressure is, a lot stronger than the dam itself, and then it breaks through. And that's kind of the analogy that I've always thought about Hex, is like, hey, this is that slow and steady wins the race. And, you got the tortoise and you got the hare. And Richard has always taken his time on things, like I mentioned with Pulsechain. He's taken his time on things to make sure that it gets done right, and also to make sure that it's going to stand the test of time and be here in 15 years. Because, what good is it if you can stake, Hex for 5,555 days if it's not going to be worth diddly in the time that those stakes end? So Richard has taken all of the time and done everything correctly to make sure that it is the top appreciating asset that the world has ever seen. And so far, it's definitely done that. I mean, you look at the price chart, and it's absolutely blowing away everything else. Tony T, let's see. You are doing a great job breaking this stuff down. I'm sure that once the sacrifice, I think you were the person in the Pulsechain chat. Good to see you. I'm sure that once the sacrifice period starts and the sacrifice address is posted, it will be easier to understand. Yeah, Tony, I mean, yeah, I would definitely just stay tuned. I mean, someone like myself will, and, all the other Hexicans that stream are probably going to do the same thing. I know Coffee, he's usually got a, quick trigger finger when it comes to this stuff, but we'll do a little tutorial. Like, I'll set up a separate MetaMask account and put a little bit of Hex or whatever and show you how to sacrifice it safely. Because even though, like I'd mentioned, I had sent some ETH to the contract address, even though I had watched Richard's video like 4 or 5 times of how to use MetaMask and how to interact with the AA. But my excitement was so built up, and anxiety was so built up that, I had missed that important step of actually interacting with the contract. So yeah, there's definitely going to be no shortage of videos on how that's done. Hey, Crypto Panda. Let's see. 0.0853. Keep talking, Brand. Hey, I can definitely talk all day. Let's see. The Hornet UK1, that ain't even broke yet. I've seen it. Hex will be $1.49. Yeah, Richard talks about what good is 10 cents on your way to $100, and that's the kind of big brain thinking, right? That I think people need to really be prepared for. I know Papa B talks about this a lot, and other people talk about this a lot, but take your security seriously now, because some people might just have $10 or $100 or whatever the amount is. That amount's going to multiply by so much when you see a 1,733x gain. And then, well, what happens if Hex does what Bitcoin did plus more, which is designed to do, which is over 6.5 million x? Well, you better hope that you had that security taken seriously. And so anyways, Richard had talked about 10 cents is cool, but we're on our way to doing what Bitcoin did, which was $100 and then 1,000, 10,000, and I think Hex can hit those numbers that Bitcoin hasn't been able to. You've got so many people just blindly, like that I don't know, that one movie, but with the blindfolds and whatnot. But anyways, you got so many people just walking around with their blindfolds on, and things like Hex are just shining like a damn star. And it's only going to be a matter of time before stuff like that CoinMarketCap lawsuit has a big impact on those people. I like it because it's like punching the bully in the nose. The bully got away with, say, the first 10 kids and whatnot, but the 11th kid was Richard Hart that the bully tries to bully, and Richard just clocks him in the nose, knocks him out. So that's definitely what's happening with Hex, and with the whole space. I mean, it goes to show you that like I had mentioned, most of the crypto market space is people that want to take advantage of your suffering, or they want you to trade and go into the meat grinder because they earn a commission off of the trading referral. So it's definitely something to consider. Let me actually go back to Richard's Twitter here. 1 second here. All right, give me 1 second. Let me go back to Richard's Twitter. Let's look at this for a few more minutes. So, because I saw this earlier and I thought that it was pretty cool. So, even if you didn't like Hex.com, you could have bought January 5th, which was the lowest day. Last year, sold at a 2x. He kind of talks about the doublings, right? And so there's this analogy, like I was kind of mentioning, with Bitcoin, where people thought it was too expensive to buy Bitcoin when it went from a penny to 10, and now it's 33,000. So stuff like this is like I mentioned, the big brain stuff that people really need to start being prepared for. Let's see if we can see anything else. All right, 1 second here. Yeah, this chart never gets old. I mean, this is on June 30th, but I mean, just how beautiful is this? The chart itself, it's just like I mentioned, it's just like the elephant in the room. When you see the hex chart compared to everything else, like there's just no comparison at all. So I think that's really, really cool. All right, what else we got? Yeah, I still haven't been able to find it right this second, but Richard had posted, like I mentioned, like 4 screenshots of the front end, right, for the Pulsechain. And it looks really, really good. Henry had kind of mentioned, this is interesting. This is pretty much Richard, like Floyd Mayweather. I think it's also interesting too, and kind of goes to show you the Bitcoin community, that when Floyd, he had talked about at the Bitcoin conference that Bitcoin wasn't what made him successful, right? He was already a billionaire before then, and I thought that was really cool. But it also goes to show you, we'll just stop sharing. It also goes to show you the sentiment of the community and how toxic the Bitcoin community is, because they all booed him when he had said that, there could be something else that is, similar to Bitcoin and that, takes Bitcoin's place one day. And, those people just have this like cognitive dissonance, and they want to live in like this fantasy, fictional world, when in reality, like, this is reality, And so the numbers don't lie, and that's one of the beautiful things. Let's see. Derek Mast, I've never seen you before, so welcome. Are you going to save some for the launch to buy a Pulse with? Yeah, why not? I mean, I'm not going to be, so say with whatever liquid I have right now, I'm not going to be sacrificing all of it. I'll probably be sacrificing like 50% of it, something like that. And so, okay, I'll, oh yeah, Johnny, that's the reference I was looking for. I'll share it in a second. But yeah, I'm not going to be sacrificing all of it. But I'll tell you what, dry powder is never a bad idea to keep on the side, because just like with Big Payday, I personally didn't think it was going to dip, but in hindsight, I should have known. Anyways, it's not a bad idea to have some dry powder on the side when there's opportunities to take advantage of. And so say when the snapshot happens and when the launch happens, people sell their Pulse or things like that. Well, then now you can take advantage of that and you can scoop up, cheaper, PHEX or Pulse, whatever ends up being. Oh, okay. My original question was, what percentage of total hex bag? Thanks for the acknowledgement. Love your streams. Let's see. I've got like 14% liquid right now, so I'm going to be sacrificing like 7% of that. Imagine the first couple of weeks in Hex where 1 or 2 Ethereum at $200 got you 4 million Hex. Yeah, those were the days, and that was a beautiful thing too. And you know, there was a couple of Easter eggs for the people that had followed consistently, but with Hex and with the adoption amplifier phase, there was this self-referral thing that you could do. So, you know, you could refer someone else, and I think you'd get like 10% or something, but you could self-refer and get 32. So even though on January 5th, it was like 1.8 million, I think, Hex per Ethereum, if you would have self-referred, you would have got another like 32% on top of that. So that was even better. I mean, I look at some of the referrals that I have, and it's like, man, glad I listened to Richard on how to self-refer, because that's a lot of free money. Yeah, Hex softball. Yeah, Lazor. Great to see you too, man. Yeah, it was awesome to meet you, and shout out to you, man. I was saying that, you know, so many Hexicans take initiative, and you know, we got Johnny, we got yourself, we got people like Maddie and all the streamers, and it's cool to see that, you know, we don't have followers in Hex, we've got leaders. And, you know, thanks to Richard for kind of leading by example. All right, let's wrap up the stream here. What else we got? If you're new, go all in on Pulse token. RTS. I self-referred, happy with that. Totally, me too. Let me take a look. Johnny said he updated. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's exactly the one that I was looking for. Or at least the movies, like Bird Watch or Bird something. Let's take a look here. Whatever this movie was, I thought it was a stupid movie, actually, but whatever. So Don't Look Children, but it was top performing asset of 2020. He said it would dump after big payday. I know, damn it. so yeah, this is great. I was in this photo, but yeah, you can't really see me. I'm like one of these hands here in the back, because you know, there was just so many people up towards the front, and you've got the photo frame that you know, can't see everyone, but I was somewhere there in the back, and I do have a little video of me kind of showing some of the other people too. But this is really cool, you know, Motley up there looking good, and you know, Lewis and you know, T Money and stuff like that, and Maddie. But it really is cool to see the, you know, product doing what it's supposed to do, which is going up and to the right. Here's a little bit better. So let's see. I know, damn it. Maybe if you wait another year. Okay, yeah, that is some of the sentiment. That is some of the sentiment that I've heard now. Is you know, people that weren't right about Hex. You know, they initially said that. Well, they initially said a lot of things, but initially it was like, okay, big payday. That's going to be the rug pull. That's going to be when everyone loses it. And you know, as the price started to dump, you know, people kind of created like a self-fulfilling prophecy and whatnot. But it really is cool to see that Richard always talks about, like, you know, price go up is all people care about. And it's awesome to see it being a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? That you can program currency. And, you know, if you do have more holders and buyers and sellers, then with the supply and demand and whatnot, people are going to be able to sell at a higher price, as long as everyone's not selling at the same time. Yeah, Derek, let's see. Derek Mass says, I've onboarded about 20 people in Hex. Let's see. Love helping people out. Are there any tips you can give me for newcomers, or any sites you can point me to? Let's see. There's Hex.wiki. Let me think about this. So, I mean, yeah, if anyone's got any, I just said one website. So yeah, there's Hex.wiki. Let's see. There's Hex.vision. You can do Maddie. I mean, Maddie just created something for what you're talking about. Tshare.app. What else do we got? Staker.app is amazing. I mean, Staker.app is a really good application and website. I know Steph had actually posted a lot of. I might be able to actually find that before I go. Steph had posted that because they used the Gnosis Safe. It's like a smart contract wallet. But he had mentioned that there's going to be a lot of updates to not only Staker app but to the wallets integrated within it, and I think it's pretty cool. You know, it's nice to have MetaMask wallet, nice to have a cold storage, Trezor or Ledger, and it's also cool to have a Gnosis Safe wallet too. Okay, yeah, let's share the screen real quick here. But yeah, Derek, yeah, like I said, if anyone has any things to add, maybe you can kind of help Derek out. But Staker app is good. I mean, Hex.com. Oh, of course, I missed the most important one. Yeah, just Hex.com. There's like a tech specs. There's a kind of like a layman guide. Let's see. Hexopal says, let's use Pulse to onboard people and use Hex.vision. Good tool. Yeah, Hex.vision is great. Hey, what's up, Chuck? Hope you're doing well. Word up, Ledger Nano. Yeah. I mean, the beautiful thing about cold storage is, your keys never. Oh, okay, crypto. I'll take a look right after the stream. Sorry about that. Let's see. Trying to get a hold of you since Vegas. My bad, dude. Anyways, so there's a number of things. Yeah, you can show. Yeah, graphx.rocks is great. Let's see. Derek says, thanks. Already use all of those except hex.wiki. Thanks again. Yeah, hex.wiki. I mean, that was just the first thing that came to my mind. But yeah, hex.com. I mean, obviously, since that's like the main website and the main page, that's probably going to be where you're good. But let me, Crypto Black Sheep. I'll pull up the Telegram after this and take a look. Sorry about that. But let's get back to Twitter real quick. This will kind of be where I end things, but let's just take a look here because Steph, founder of Staker app, him and Firebun kind of have commingled to create this. But he says people who supported us from the beginning got a smart wallet and bought into our vision will be rewarded in many surprising ways. Let's see. Remember that you cannot earn your future if you don't secure it. Security first. And he's talking about imagine not having your smart wallet requested on Staker, ultra secure, the best for long-term staking. It's multi-signature capable, Ethereum-less transactions, airdrops. That's cool. We offer them at $6 or 0.003 ETH. Secure your future today. So I think this is really cool. I know, here's some more information on it. It's called Gnosis Safe. But I guess more than $40 billion are stored in it. And I think that's what Vitalik uses as well. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for today. It's been good to see everyone. I'll see if there's any last minute comments. No, I didn't. I'll have to take a look. Hey, what's up, Miss Hexquisite? Just about to end here, but good to see you as always. Yeah, Custard. I know Conrad Zen. He's great. He's always been a consistent streamer for like a super long time. So I'm not sure, but yeah, it was cool meeting him. Let's see. Okay, yeah, Derek says I requested a wallet a couple weeks ago. Haven't heard anything though. Do I try again? I don't think there's any way you can like try again after you've already requested it. But I'm not sure. I know. Yeah, that's kind of what Steph had kind of alluded to. Imagine not requesting it. So maybe they'll batch fill them all in the future or something like that. Not too sure. Hey, what's up, Crypto Learner? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Any last minute questions? Crypto Panda, watching friends make stakes is amazing. You can actually see them relax while they're planning for their future. Totally. I mean, for someone like, for someone like my parents, a lot of boomers have not saved for the future and don't have 401ks and stuff like this. Yeah, Crypto Black Sheep, we'll definitely chat soon. I'll do that right after this. But a lot of boomers, like I said, they don't have savings, and you see a lot of the boomers, even older generation at not stereotypically, but typically at like the Walmart and register and signing the receipts at Costco and stuff like that. And who wants to work all of their life? Because at the end of the day, it's just a means to an end to be able to have enough resources to feed yourself and your family and stuff like that. So with something like Hex, it's my dad had his birthday somewhat recently, and we had done one of the Hex stakes that I had set up for him for then. And holy moly, like it's gained a lot of value. And so, yeah, I know, Ms. Hexquisite. But anyway, so it's really cool how much value it's gained. And same thing with my mom, where, because I was setting up the wallet for them, and I said, hey, here's the amount that I'm going to allot. And this was like 7 months ago. But I was like, well, when do you want me to end this? I'm going to let you choose when you want me to end this. And it was cool. My mom immediately got it. She was like, so if I lock it for longer, I'll be able to earn more interest and, earn more interest for longer. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, all right, well, let's do it 5 years. And then so we did one for 5 years, did one for 3 years. And then I think I did like just a, I don't know, like separate from what I had already given her. I'd gone back into her account and did like 10-year, 15-year, because even though that's like, a future that she can't really comprehend looking into that far, imagine how big those numbers will be when she is able to realize it and stuff. And so anyways, I think that's really cool. Derek says, my grandpa has 500,000 Hex. Dude, that's amazing. My dad has over 2 million. And I have my bag, generational. That's so cool. Yeah, I did the same thing with the Uniswap airdrop. I had a few wallets that were able to claim and switched to Hex, gave it to the family members and girlfriend and stuff like that, and a couple of friends, and even a couple my brother's friends, their kids. Like one of them had like a recent newborn, and I was like, hey, you just had a kid? Like no question that like I'm locking this for 15, as long as I can do it. And when he has his 15th birthday, he'll be doing pretty good, So it's cool to be able to have so much, abundance and have the cup overflow with so much to be able to help other people out too, because that's really what it is at the end of the day. I mean, what great is it having, all this money and this wealth if like the people around you are like suffering and not doing well financially, then they're just going to be mad and bitter at you for not getting them into it. So that's kind of how I felt with the airdrop opportunity. Was like, hey, this is my chance to put capital that I didn't have before into the wallets that I wanted to set up. Hey, what's up, Sandy? Thank you very much, man. He says, thanks for the stream, Brody bro. Keep coming. Yee. Hey, what's up, Sandy? Hey, good to see you too, man. Thank you for the tip, man. Really appreciate it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like I mentioned, there's a handful of streamers that were just people that have made songs and whatnot. And Crypto Orange, he did one recently. Thought it was really cool. He's got a good voice, man. He, really good at guitar and really good at the singing and strumming too. So also he had an orange background, so that was pretty cool. All right, last couple comments. Crypto Learner. Cool. Staking also gives the whole network more security and gives it more trust. Win-win for every Hexican. Exactly. BMA says, my son and brother are really enjoying the massive gains on their Hex stakes. Yeah, I'm not like some evangelist. It's like, everyone get into Hex, but for the people that do know me and the people that, have seen some of the success that I've had and stuff like that, or the success that Hex has had, they're like, how do I get into this? Because all these other cryptocurrencies are going down that I thought would go up, and yours is, the only one going up and staying up while everything goes down. So it's been really cool to, get the people that show an interest into it as well. Family is true wealth. It really is, man. Hex Softball, that's actually something that I'm doing today. So we're going to realize a little bit and then also I'm going to work with him. I don't even know how much the amount is. I know it's decent, but I'm going to work with him on a ladder to restake not only that principal, but also, you know, fan it out 5 years or something like that, to where he can, you know, continually earn the interest. Because, you know, what great is some giant lump sum if you only received it once, you know? So yeah, we're definitely going to be doing that today. That's something that that I'm going to be doing. So, all right, guys. Well, that's pretty much everything. Thank you all for tuning in. Got a couple hour stream. We're back to normal. Got the car all, you know, changed and fixed, and back to the streaming setup like normal. Thursday should be doing the Nights of Crypto. Don't know who's going to host it. I'm actually not going to be downloading the videos and posting them on my channel anymore. I had agreed with everyone else that we're pretty much going to try and direct the traffic to the website, which I don't know right off that, but it's Nights of the Crypto something. So, anyways, we're gonna keep it on each individual channel, and then go from there. So then I'll have the normal stream on Sunday. And like I said, we'll go from there. Tonight we got the Quant Gang. I think that's like in an hour or something like that. It's either 4 or 5 o'clock my time. So be on the lookout for that. Like I said, I'm always looking forward to it. And it's pretty much all I got. Yeah. What's up, Chuck? Thank you for all you do too, David Gomez. All right, guys. Yep, gonna end it here. Hope everyone has a safe day. Hope everyone had a good 4th of July weekend. And yeah, see everyone next time.